One of the Buddha's first teachings was that life is suffering. And it's true for most of us that we suffer so much in life. Now, of course, life can also be quite divine, quite wonderful, quite blissful as well. But today, one of the things I'd like to talk about is 7 reflections that I've come up with on pain. Because pain, it's such a huge part of our life, and it's something that we all struggle with. It's something we need some help with. And for me, what I notice on the spiritual path as a teacher and a therapist is I notice that most people have a very confusing relationship with pain. And so I wrote down some notes and created these 7 reflections. I'd like to share them with you. And so the first one is just simply as the Buddha put it, is pain is part of life. Grieving, sadness, anger, despair. We're humans, we have emotions. All these things are a part of normal everyday life. And so no matter where we are on the spiritual path, whether we are an enlightened Buddha, have Christ-like consciousness, or just simply a mother or father trying to raise some young children, pain is going to be part of our life. The Buddha suffered. Jesus absolutely suffered. And this is important to know because I think most people on the spiritual path, they're looking for a way out of pain. But pain is a part of life. Now, of course, the Buddha's second teaching was that through following the Dharma, there is a way out of pain. So the first teaching is just simply that pain is part of life. It's not to be avoided. And through embracing it, we discover a great freedom. Okay, number 2. Pain is often a mystery. And so this is a funny thing because most of us, when we feel pain in our body, when we experience mental pain, emotional pain, whatever kind of pain it is, right away, if you stand back with mindfulness and watch your mind, you will notice that your mind will come up with some assumptions and some conclusions about pain. Oftentimes the conclusion is this is bad and I need to run away from this. I need to get rid of it. I need to end it as quickly as possible. Now, from the perspective of survival, like a survival instinct, which is a lot what makes up our ego, yeah, if you're in danger, like if my baby is by the wood-burning stove and she touches it, her body is going to scream and she's going to pull back. That's appropriate with physical pain. Although most pain that we experience, mental pain, emotional pain, psychological pain, the loss of a loved one, we don't need to run away from that pain. If we open to that pain and accept it as a mystery, open to it and let us teach us something, we'll have a radically different experience than if we're continually fearing pain, running from pain, avoiding pain. So much of our suffering comes about through trying to avoid pain. And all the mental dances we do, all the emotional dances we do, all the defenses we put up so that we don't have to face pain. But most pain, besides just purely physical pain, it has an intelligence to it. It has a truth to it. Oftentimes it has a hidden gift within it. And if we're willing to embrace that pain, if we can walk toward it, if we can meet it with a sense of loving kindness, what we can find is that this pain has something to teach us, something to show us. It can bring forth a great deal of compassion within ourselves, a great deal of strength, a hidden strength which we did not know that we had. And so I invite you, instead of just assuming that all pain is bad, to open your heart to it, and to meet it in a very mysterious and innocent way, to see what it is, see what it has to teach you. And for years I deeply struggled with back pain, just intense back pain. I'd go to the chiropractor and the doctor, and they had no idea what was going on. And I would argue with the pain, I would fight with it, I would resist it. And so it never really got better until I opened my heart to the pain. What I found was that pain there within me, it had nothing to do with any physical thing that I was doing. It had nothing to do with an injury. It was actually this explosive Kundalini energy within me that wanted me to open to it. As I opened to it, the pain turned to bliss. And I found that so often in the spiritual path. The more we open to pain, the more we meet it from this mysterious perspective, is that we can find that the very thing we were afraid of, the very thing we avoided, was actually an experience of this greater emergence, this greater awakening, these greater spiritual energies or a chakra center opening up and bringing forth a deeper sense of love, a deeper sense of bliss, a deeper sense of spaciousness and aliveness. Number 4, the presence of pain does not mean we've done anything wrong. And this I find, a lot of people struggle with guilt or shame. They think that if pain is present that they've done something wrong. Or a lot of us have ideas that God is out to punish us, or that we're walking in the wrong direction if pain has come forward. But pain doesn't mean that we've done anything wrong. Sometimes pain is here to teach us about the impermanence of life. This spring my father died. That was a painful thing. I deeply grieved, and I opened to the grieving process of it. But does it mean that he did anything wrong or I did anything wrong? Absolutely not. We're not being punished if someone in our family dies, if our partner leaves us, if a relationship ends or we lose a job. We're not being punished. Sometimes, back to number 1, we have to remember that pain is part of life. We're not being punished. We have not done anything wrong. And so we can relax and just meet it from a place of basic wisdom and just say, okay, this thing has happened. Now how can I meet my experience with truth, with love, with strength? Without doing that silly dance of judging ourselves, arguing with ourselves, blaming ourselves, thinking we're bad, or whatever it is. By all means, if we want to be free of pain, we have to be willing to embrace pain fully and meet it with a clarity and a wisdom. Number 5, our nervous system, our very energetic nervous system, is wired to feel good when we're living in truth and to contract and feel bad when we are living outside of truth. So say, for example, when we go to a yoga class, when we stand at the top of our mat and do Tadasana, mountain pose, we feel open. We have an open heart. We have a strong back. We feel receptive. We are living in clarity. And yet, if we go to yoga class and we are thinking about, the other people in the room, how we don't like them, or how this person said that, or the other person said this, or we're gossiping in our mind, your body will literally feel like garbage. It will feel tight. It will feel tense. It will feel confused. It will feel neurotic. And so this teaching, number 5 on pain, it says, when we are living in truth, our nervous system feels open, relaxed, spacious, and blissful. That is the natural state. When we are outside of truth, we will feel contracted. We'll feel like garbage. We'll feel tight. We'll feel tense. We'll feel emotional, or this way or that way. And so the invitation here is just to allow your nervous system to teach you, to be your teacher. So you're driving down the road in the mountains. You see the absolute beauty of the mountains. You're feeling this sense of oneness and unity with all of life. That's the natural state. But when you drive down that same road and you see a storm cloud come, and your mind goes into fear, and you start projecting these ideas of, oh my God, I better hurry up and get there before the storm comes, you'll notice that your feeling of oneness, your feeling of unity, it will actually contract. You'll feel more in your head, more in your fear center. And so I invite you, if you notice that, you may just ask yourself, what thoughts am I believing which are not true right now? What am I believing? Which thoughts am I believing which are not true? Can I come back to this basic sense of clarity, basic sense of sanity, this basic direct experience of reality, which is naturally blissful, naturally silent, naturally at one with all of life? And so this is the invitation here. The other evening, my wife walked in the room. She asked me how I was doing, and I was just hanging out, listening to Jerry Garcia Band on YouTube, and I was holding my baby and just dancing with her. And I thought, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. I just feel absolutely wonderful, absolutely divine. There is no problem. I could be spending my time worrying about dinner, worrying about bills, worrying about finances, worrying about my children's education, or whatever it is that people worry about. Well, we just relax within ourselves. We feel good, we feel wonderful, we feel happy, we feel joyous. And this isn't something we only experience at yoga or at the end of a meditation retreat. If we truly let all of our guards down and live in truth, the natural experience will be one of beauty, of happy, of innocence, of joy. Number 6, if our pain, the pain that we are experiencing, it is of a repetitive nature, then life is trying to teach us something. So if we're having a painful experience, like if we find ourselves in the same relationship problem again and again and again, or if we have the same kind of heartache within our heart again and again and again, if we have the same fight in our mind with our father or our mother, or our teenage daughter or son, life is trying to teach us something. The invitation here is to stop, to drop out of our mind, and just to simply see from a quiet place of mindfulness. Life, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to show me? Chances are it's the opposite of what you normally think. What we normally think is, they are wrong, I am right. They did this to me and I am the victim. But if we're the victim again and again and again, oftentimes life is trying to teach us to become strong, to realize how strong and powerful we are, to become empowered, to live from a place of truth and honesty. If we're struggling with anger, and we're always angry at our parents, perhaps life is teaching us to forgive them. And so the things we struggle with in a repetitive fashion, oftentimes is a great lesson there, a great teaching there, because life is this wonderfully intelligent force which is always coming to us, always trying to teach us, always trying to open our hearts to something greater. Okay, number 7. Number 7 is a tough one. Basically, number 7 says that we become empowered through embracing pain. In fact, that pain is our greatest teacher. Pain brings forth these strengths within us. When you truly get this teaching, you'll fall on your knees and you will bow before pain. You will thank pain for being such a great and wonderful teacher. I kid you not. Pain is the greatest teacher on the planet. Not your Satguru, not your yoga teacher, not your meditation teacher, but pain. Pain will open you in ways which you had no idea were imaginable, no idea which were possible. Pain will open you into the non-dual nature of life. It will push you to your limit and then break that limit and open your heart into this space of being unbreakable. It is an uncompromising teacher. The greatest teacher on the planet is pain. And so I invite you just to really sit with these 7 reflections on pain. Open to them. And as you do so, you begin to live beyond ego, live beyond mind, live beyond that habitual way of being. You begin to step into a world of freedom. Because in the world of freedom, in the world of the true awakened state, we are not afraid of pain. Pain does not rule our life. If we are going to be a master, we must become great friends with pain. We must bow before pain, learn from pain, and let her strengthen us and empower us so that we can live as our highest nature.